I just give a very brief summary of what these three things are. So currently for shielded transactions, the way that you learn that you have something is by scanning the chain with your viewing key. A detection key, the idea there is you instead can detect the presence of a transaction for you with a detection key, but that detection key does not have the capability to view what the transaction is. So it does reveal to whoever has it that this transaction belongs to you. It does reveal metadata, but it doesn't reveal like the received amount and memo field and so on. The rough idea being that in that model, you would give the detection key to a service who runs the detection for you with powerful servers, and maybe that's something you pay for, and then they let you know what ones were for you, and you go from there. And there's a few things we can get into related to that. Out-of-band notes, the obvious thing, just when you make a transaction, give that transaction directly to the person who's receiving it, instead of, you still submit it to the chain, but instead of the recipient having to scan the whole chain to find that transaction, you give it directly to the recipient. For instance, if you're doing a payment via a QR code or something, that could set up a local transmission pathway to directly send the transaction. And then liberated payments, or I think the most recent term for it was URL encapsulated payments. Essentially, the idea there is to pre-compute a series of temporary wallets which each have like some defined amount of funds, like 10 ZEC, 5 ZEC, whatever. And you have those like having cash in your wallet, where you have like your bank balance accessible by your card, and then you have a series of notes that you can give individually to people. So the idea being that you've essentially prematurely paid out of your main account into these temporary accounts, and then to pay someone, you can just give them the spending key for that account. So for a brief window of time, both the sender and recipient have the spending key to the same account. The transfer is effectively instantaneous because you just transfer the money there. However, it is also revocable for some period of time because the sender can use the spending key they still have to pull those funds back. So there's a sort of a trade-off there in UX between the payment is essentially like bearer-based, instantaneous. However, you then need to do, your wallet then needs to do a claiming process to actually claim what those funds are. But the advantage here is you don't need to know the address of the recipient to give them funds. You can just give them this URL, the idea of being encapsulated in a URL. You can just give them this link that will then, when they click it, if they don't have a Zcash wallet, it will say, hey, go to here and download the Zcash wallet to claim these funds. Or if you have one, it could claim them automatically.